Why do people leave their job to start a lawn care business? I did it 40 years ago, left my job and started this lawn care business that I'm still running today. G'day viewers, Jeff from McPhee's Gardening, Australia. Many people leave their jobs to start a lawn care business because they didn't like where they were working, or they wanted to work for themselves. More importantly, I think many people do that. They start off with a lifestyle, run a business as a lifestyle, solo operator. They may employ people, they may build an empire. We all have different reasons. Everyone has a different fit. And wherever you start your business, make sure it's right for you. But the passion of running your own business is too hard to not do, in my opinion. Today's video, I'm going to discuss why I left. And later on, I'm going to discuss what I would do in 2025, how to start a lawn mowing business with the knowledge that I've gained over the years, or more about learning from all the mistakes I've made over that entire journey. So my life started on the farm, born and bred, and my favourite piece of toy was the Massey Ferguson 65 horsepower slashing paddocks as a teenager, even younger than that. Used to do the neighbours and get some pocket money. It was a really great life. It's a magnificent machine and still goes to this very day. We did all the things on the farm, ride horses and had a great time, hard work. I learnt a lot. But I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. I didn't want to stay in the one spot. I wanted to move. So young Jeff had to go to the big smoke. So to my parents' disappointment, I left the farm. I joined the Department of Civil Aviation as a trainee engineer, and also they taught me how to fly. This job entailed going around Australia, looking after all the airports, ensuring that they met the standards. That was our role in the aviation department. The operational aspects of all the things to do with aircraft and runways, and approach and takeoff paths and all that type of thing. Did that for a few years, got married, had kids. Kids were going to school. I got a job as an operations manager for a metro airport. Had 100 staff, very high pressure job, 7/24 all the time. Always getting called out. Kids say, "Dad, can you come and watch me play footy today?" "I can't, son, I've got to go into work." Christmas Day broke my heart, had to leave. Couldn't even make Christmas dinner because there was an aircraft accident. I had to be out there. So went on holidays, and I said to my wife, we've been talking about we need to change, we need to do something different, and this is what I did. We looked at other aspects of running our own business. We wanted to run a business. We didn't know really what to do. So we're driving up the farm, and we stopped at a bakery, get the old meat pie, and really great, and sitting there. And there's some guys mowing some lawns close by. Wife said, "Why don't you do that for a living?" I said, "Well, you're not going to make money out of mowing lawns, surely." She'd go, "Well, go and ask." Well, you do what the wife says, because they're always right, aren't they? Well, she was right this time, of course. So I spoke to the guys and asked them about the life, and asked them about, is it a good income? Can you survive? Absolutely, they said. Need to think about it, need to work yourself through it. So I did. I did the research. I looked at all the operators in our area. I rang up, got them out to get a quote on our property just to see how much people are charging. And I got a shock. I got a shock about how they presented themselves. Back in the 80s, people that had a gardening business were the mower men. And that's all they were, bottom of the barrel. And that's the way they presented themselves. These guys come to the house unbranded, pants hanging out of their backside. It was really strange. Couldn't communicate, very grunted and arrogant. Look, there was a few good ones, but a lot of bad ones. A family friend, he had a gardening business for nearly 50 years. He was really good at it, but he was bad at charging prices. He never made a really good living out of it. And his equipment, we wouldn't replace his equipment. He was always breaking down every time you'd visit. He'd be banging and crashing, trying to get the things going. And I thought to myself, I've got to address some key issues. First is, what type of equipment do I need to start off with? So I went to a mower shop, and this guy actually was a lawn mowing contractor. He said, buy the very best you can afford, and a bit more if you can, because he said what you need is reliable equipment. So true he was. So I bought, as you see here, the couple of Honda mowers. These are the original Honda mowers made from Japan. There was no plastic, or, they were really good mowers. One of the mowers, after 4 or 5 years that I replaced them, my brother-in-law took it over and he got another 25 years out of it, for domestic purposes only, of course. So it shows you what you can do with these mowers. Whippersnipper and the edger. Very important to have the edger. 7x5 trailer, and that was really good for rubbish, and that's all I needed. So I went back to work. I said, I'm pulling the pin. Found out how much superannuation and how much long service leave and all that I'd have up my sleeve, so I'd have a bit of money to purchase all these things. And they said, we'll double your wage. I said, yeah, that's how they thought of you. When I was at work, I wasn't appreciated. My ideas were stolen by upper management, but I learned a couple of good lessons. I was able to communicate because I had 100 staff. I dealt with labourers, I dealt with middle management, I dealt with chief executives of other companies, I dealt with politicians. So I've dealt with a lot of different type of people, and I was confident I could deal with them all. And I think that's really helped me along the journey. I think communication is so important for the success of your business. So I left because I wanted to start my own business. I left because I wasn't appreciated. They didn't value my worth. But to start my own business was going to be exciting. So away I went, starting mowing. And I only did the domestics. And I did the ferals, as you see here. I did a few feral lawns. One thing I found out quickly, very straining on the equipment, getting breakdowns. Very good money, but there was a lot of problems with breakdowns because of what I was doing. Had a lot of commercials ring up asking for a quote. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was big enough, and I stayed with the residential. I saw other companies doing commercial, and I thought maybe one day I'll be able to get there. But I didn't have the confidence. I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the confidence. So it wasn't until, because of lifestyle, I was coaching my children in basketball, and one of the kids in the team, their parent was an assistant manager of a hotel complex. And she asked me, are you interested in quoting? And I'm thinking, oh, I'll give it a go, because I knew her. And she said, look, you can do it. I know you can. So I went along and looked around. It was 5 acres of ride-on mowing and a lot of gardens, a weekly visit, probably a day a week. And I thought, this really, I would love to do this. I got it, I quoted, and I got the job. And I did that for a long time. I bought a ride-on mower. I had one from the farm. I bought that down until I decided what type of ride-on I wanted. And I thought a 48-inch was perfect size. I didn't want to be too big. I didn't want to be too small. And I still maintain that philosophy all these years. A 48-inch is just perfect. I don't want to do residential with it, but it'll handle small commercials and it'll handle large commercials. Once I got that, I got inundated with commercials because I was confident to quote each one. I ended up with a school, 14 acres. I did that on a weekly basis as well. All these went for 25 years plus. COVID struck, and of course it changed everything, but that doesn't matter. At least I had those commercials under my belt. And it was all through the lack of confidence that I didn't want to do them at the start. But anyway, in the end, it worked out. It worked out for the best. So what would Jeff do in 2025 to start a lawn care business? I made a lot of mistakes in the 4 decades. A lot of mistakes. You never learn until you make a mistake. Several things I'd do. I'd go battery. All battery. If I had enough money, I would buy battery. It is expensive, and I'm going to do a video on about petrol versus battery, the comparison in price over a period of time, and you'll be surprised. Even if I didn't money, I would borrow. I'd have a good debt to make sure that I had the best of the battery equipment. I've just recently purchased a battery mower, completing the whole fleet of battery. It's a very lightweight one, and I'll do a review on that later. The other thing I do is I make sure I hit the multimedia, the web page, the business Google ads, the Facebook, all those are available to you. See, in our time when we advertised, we had letterbox drops, we had printed media. It was so long to change something. A letterbox drop, I've dropped, I reckon, 5,000. I got 3 or 4 inquiries. One of those, I still have this to the very day after 4 decades. So it's amazing what can happen. Definitely make sure that you present yourself with before and after photos. Brand yourself, brand your trailer, brand yourself, your uniform, badges, etc. Look professional. Communication is so important. Make sure that you practice. Make sure you Even if you can't communicate, go and practice. Go and get some help, because communication's the important thing. Networking is probably the most valuable thing in 2025, like never before. Today, contractors bend over backwards to help each other out, because we're not working against each other, we're working with to make this industry grow. When I started down at the tip, no one would talk about prices. Everyone was guarded. Over the years, I made every possible opportunity to speak to all the contractors in my area to get everybody the prices up. They were charging too cheap, and I kept saying you should be charging more, and everyone started doing that. And it was amazing, with a group effort, we all started moving our prices up, and we started to have a better standard of living because of that. So networking is an essential item in 225. Get all the modern things of phones, smartphones, software programs to help you out. All those things will help. It's so important. I think it's something that you know, you'll go a long way with. They're the main things in 2025 that I would look at, and definitely look at, you know, what type of vehicle and trailer. That's going to be a personal choice. I prefer a ute. Some people don't because of the security. Depends on the area. Vans, trucks, whatever. I'm not going to go into that. That's a personal thing. Brands of equipment, they're all good. Anything commercial is good. It's what suits. All right, viewers, that's my story. I'm going to be doing our YouTube videos from the farm weekly now. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do from the fires, trying to get this place presented. It's going to take me probably 12 months. Got lots of work. I can only afford a day a week, but I'll get there. Thanks for watching. Please let me know why you left your job, and has it benefited for you, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm puffing a bit, climbing that hill's a bit hard. We'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.